Transformation and assessment. If you made your decision about what data is going to be incorporated into the database and how you're going to express it, so now we're going to do it. So in practical terms, database design in practical terms is draw the data model. Right? Usually the model of the database in an entity relationship diagram, and that's a pretty good way of doing it. Convert the entity relationship model into a relational model and identify the functional dependencies from business rules. For example, I've got an example there where purchase orders will not be approved if customers more than 90 days overdue. Okay, so you might have some of those. Normalize the relational tables. I won't try and describe that whole process. It isn't a standard part of database design, so by all means go look it up. It's not a particularly complicated process now. By now, most people are quite familiar with data design principles or information design principles. Although I have to acknowledge that when things get big, it's a significant endeavor to design the database, the information model well. Now, when should you stop? Well, generally stop when the required data is able to be stored and subsequently accessed efficiently, and all security performance concerns have been resolved and the data is normalized. That's good enough. The database management systems these days are usually pretty good in being able to change things. So it's not that important that you get it perfect straight away. You can afford to make some changes. It's just that in 6 months' time you won't be able to make too many changes. Security is a concern. Invariably the data is required to be quite secure. So you do need to check whether the data is able to be accessed by those authorized to access it and not available to those who are not authorized to access it. Performance is something that frequently people don't consider too much in anything other than a commercial system. You probably don't need to worry too much about performance. But I will tell you that if you are in a commercial system, you do have to pay attention to it, because this can make quite a considerable difference to the performance of the overall system. So there's your concerns about how to assess the database.